technically, despite having the most wins in both the AL and all of Major League Baseball, 52 of them for New York, no longer the best winning percentage.
You expect your front offices to hit that gas pedal when it comes time to get a better team on the field post All-Star break, because the one thing that you know from the Yankees and the Orioles is what, Ben? You're going to fight with each other throughout the stretch here, and you want home field advantage.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
You know, this guy is the mad scientist. I mean, he's all about green density. So in my mind, I feel like he's going to have the green speeds dialed in, and the angles he needs to land them and all that sort of stuff. I feel like he's going to be a good spot and playing the course well. And he's going to be hitting less club into a lot of these par threes too. So I just, we're talking about using a live guy. I love Bryson this week. I'm riding with Bryson.
Only on SportsGrid.
This new sports integrity partnership, Genius Sports, is involved in this. More protection.
They said that's going to allow them to beef up their protection and add more integrity monitoring tools to essentially catch bad behavior before it happens. This comes, obviously, after a just ton of scandals we've had across sports betting lately, whether it's the MLB umpire, Pat Hobert.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Despite me being a Yankee fan, I think Joe would deserve the label as Aaron Judge's biggest fan, not through any bias, but just through the amount of money that he's made anybody who's been betting on him.
I just had him for that home run, and I'm going to go back to it today. That home run coming in at plus 230. Max Fried here, while he has been strong, this is Aaron Judge.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Game time decisions. We are live. It is a Saturday morning. Quite frankly, it does feel like 6 p.m. to me right now. I'm all over the place. We got a coffee rocking and rolling to start things off. We're feeling good. We're excited to be here on SportsGrid with you. Kevin Walsh, it is Euro 2024, taking the main stage here on this Saturday. We will get to the baseball board. We'll get to the golf. We'll get to the WNBA slate. And we will also talk some UFC, a lot of shine taken off that card without Conor McGregor, but still some big fights to be discussed. And again, we will get to that in a bit. But it's Euro 2024 here that will be the biggest event on the board, as we are now in the knockout stage, the round of 16, do or die. I think an important starting point here, if you are a total bettor, probably more than anything else, the pricing is still 90 minutes plus extra time. If a draw cashes on your triple money line, they're still going to, of course, play. We'll go to two 15-minute halves, right? Play 120 minutes, no winner then. They'll go to penalties, but you're still getting the triple money line. And a lot of your and the primary wagers will all be decided within those 90 minutes plus a little bit of extra time. You can bet two advanced markets. They are, of course, significantly more expensive. And you kind of see the bracket here. One of the big things that a lot of people feel has been the sides of it all is just not matching up, right? Germany playing today is supposed to meet Spain. And even if both are solid favorites, that's a second-round match. That's huge, right? And down here, France, not an easy one with Belgium. If they advance, it predicted to play Portugal. Nothing easy there. We come over here, and England is supposedly going to cruise because they are now the favorites to win this tournament. No elite side really filling out this portion of the bracket, this bottom quadrant here. Italy, Switzerland, they do play today. Let's take a look at your outright market off of the bat here. As I said, due to the way the bracket played out, England's become the favorite at plus 320. Spain at plus 440 is a combination of two things. To some degree, this number is because of how fantastic they have looked. It is also because they are playing Georgia, who is, from a power rankings perspective, the worst team to advance. And due to the confidence that the books have Spain will be in the next round, it gives them a boost. Plus 550s here on France and Germany, 650 Portugal, and then you see the drop-off that starts to happen here in the outright market. I've placed 2 wagers in the outright Euro market. One is up here, another is quite the long shot. We'll start with the more likely outcome, which is France at plus 600. But this, to me, is a chance to buy low I am a bit surprised we are getting. Pre-tournament pricing had the favorites booked as England and France. And yet France has fallen behind Spain, fallen comfortably behind England, we know that, and sits at the same number as Germany. If we evaluate the opening set of matches here, while Belgium is not a pushover, if you are going to tell me that France's number has dropped due to the lack of quality in their results, because they haven't looked good, well then what would you say of Belgium? Consistently being booed by their own base at this tournament, they have looked awful. So I think France, of course, obviously, expecting France to win that game. If France does draw Portugal, I don't think they've necessarily been blowing anyone away. And they'd be a massive favorite if there's an upset there. At that point, if we get to a semifinal, while France almost assuredly would play one of Spain or Germany, even if one of those teams was eliminated in the round of 16, you're all of a sudden getting France in the semifinal, and I'm not sure they wouldn't be favored in a game going up against either Spain or Germany. So at plus 600, it's my favorite wager. Romania at 190-1 is probably a little more difficult sell. But if I could ask us to go back to the bracket quickly, I want to just try and make this case to people. And again, understand, it's 190-1 that we're working with here. But I mentioned this bottom left quadrant as the vulnerable portion of this bracket. If this is kind of your bracket of death, if you will, the whole idea is England's just going to cruise through. But even England, if they are able to advance to the winner of Italy-Switzerland, that's not necessarily a pushover game. How do we attack all of this? Netherlands is supposed to be the best here of the bunch. But I don't think they've necessarily played like it. While I know Romania lost to Belgium, who I'm not saying I'm incredibly high on, Belgium was coming off of an embarrassing loss, and still I thought the match statistics suggested a closer game. Not in love with either Austria or Turkey. I think Romania has a very real chance to represent their portion of the bracket. You get 191 into a semifinal, that's job done. And we move on. So those are the 2 outright wagers. I told everyone I was going to wait for the bracket to get settled. It's settled. It's France plus 600. It's Romania 190-1. Let's talk about today's action here on the Saturday card. We have 2 games here with this round of 16 starting. It begins Italy and Switzerland. You've got that 1.5 goals marker. Again, remember, 90 minutes plus extra time. It's where it's going to be decided. And 1.5, by the way, is kind of the primary number, is rare. Now, it is a little juicy over, but the 2.5s are very juicy towards the under. And I agree with the expectation that we have low-scoring soccer on our hands today. I'm going to look to play a minus 140, both teams to score, no wager, for your quick pick here as we get settled into today's primary action. I think that this Italian defense could be in line for their best performance yet. I think it was underrated, the results that they were able to still put up within their group with how good Croatia and Spain both are. I think that with respect to the Swiss side, this could be the easiest match that the Italian defense has placed. and Donnarumma is arguably the best keeper in the world. So you have yourselves a very good chance to get that clean sheet today for Italy. But on the other end of it, Italy's attack has just been completely uninspiring. They were held scoreless against Spain, and it was late-minute brilliance that stopped them from being shut out against Croatia. This game being 0-0, if you will, into an extra set of hockey, it wouldn't soccer wouldn't surprise me one bit. Second game on the board, it's Germany and Denmark. Germany, a considerable favorite when we're talking triple money line here, minus 165. It's the 2.5 goals, though, that has my attention. Favorite bet on today's card is the under. In this game, I think Denmark will struggle to score in this game. I think my bigger worry is, would Germany potentially have enough juice to put up 3 goals on their own? I think this is 2-0, 1-0 Germany here. We're playing under 2.5 in game number 2 as we start the round of 16. Quickly, put some eyes on your golden boot leaders or the outright market before this tournament gets underway. Kylian Mbappe and Harry Kane at the top. A goal apiece for each man. This is one of these spots where this market is still completely up for grabs for a lot of the top guys. You'll notice Ronaldo, nowhere to be seen, did not score in that knockout stage. We'll talk some baseball next.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
And 12. I know you're going to get Mafia excited here. Hot and bothered.
You got to put Aaron Rodgers here and the Jets at 11. I would put him higher, but again, he barely played football last season. They've addressed their offensive line. It's not going to be great. The depth at wide receiver is a problem for me. Defense, perhaps the best in the National Football League. If Rodgers plays 14 games, they're probably going to win that division over the Bills.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're back to right here. We're live on SportsGrid. It's a Saturday. Set up for the soccer. I'm excited for Euro 2024. I thought it's been fun. I'm happy to get some futures down. For those that don't know, in terms of Copa America, the pre-tournament future that was played was on Brazil. What a result yesterday. Desperately needed it. Look, I know Paraguay, it's not necessarily going to bring out a world of praise. That's a side that they're absolutely supposed to be able to beat. But off of a scoreless draw in the opening portion of this, a 4-1 game where Vinny Jr. flashed, best player in the world caliber, I think was super important for this team to put up that type of result. The final game of the group is going to be with Colombia, who is unbeaten so far. So for Brazil, they are going to advance. Realistically, it would take a crazy kind of circumstances for that not to happen. But they do need a win over Colombia in the final game if they want to finish top of the group. I do think somewhat with Copa America, and I think even, again, kind of the case here at Euro 2024, less pressure on finishing top of the group because just how wonky things can get, and more pressure on making it out, which Brazil have put themselves in a great position to do with that victory. We get to today's Major League Baseball board, and yesterday I had an RBI prop for the play of the day in the game between the Red Sox and the Padres, and it was just one of those scenarios where things didn't line up. I was on Yoshida. I maybe got a little greedy in terms of chasing a longer number than playing the Rafael Devers, who did go deep. Yoshida also hit a leadoff double, was hit by a pitch, and walked. He didn't get the opportunity that everybody else in the lineup did. So I can't beat myself up too much for it. It was a day, though, where there were a lot of RBI numbers that were jumping off the page, or there's just a little frustration that the best bet ended up being a loser when there were so many other good opportunities on that board, including Aaron Judge. You know, quickly we talk about kind of the MVP races and everything, but one betting trend that is kind of developing right now, which should be almost impossible, is Aaron Judge going over 2.5 hit runs RBI. He hasn't missed it in consecutive games in over 10 games now. And again, 2.5 is a primary number for Judge that you can basically find no matter the situation. It is pretty remarkable. To give people an update on that MVP race, minus 210 Aaron Judge, plus 300 Gunnar Henderson, and I've often used that Judge number to explain to people why I bet Ohtani. While Judge is having a monster year, his number should not be higher than where Ohtani's is. Well, that's not the case anymore. Ohtani minus 220. And how about a collapsing Bryce Harper number down to plus 850? Did pick up a little bit of an injury. So I do think that's what's really shot up this Ohtani number. I think that there are plenty other reasons for the Ohtani number to shoot up. On the Aaron Judge MVP race, though, we do have a very fascinating situation on our hands with Judge against Gunnar Henderson. Because wins above replacement, just to give people an idea, the top 5, right? Guys 3, 4, and 5. Soto 4.4, Jarren Duran actually 4.3, Bobby Witt Jr. is at a 4.3. That is only Ohtani at 4.7 is the only National League player above a 4.3. So those are guys 3, 4, and 5 in the American League. Henderson and Judge is a 5.9 outrageous. Gunnar Henderson is a 6.1. Now, Gunnar Henderson is getting a boost right now over Judge a bit with some of the defensive stuff. Not a ton, but just more than Aaron Judge. I know there was a tweet the other day from Passan talking about F-War, B-War, C-War, D-War. I can't keep up with it all. My war, I go to Baseball Reference. All right, I know there's but, you know, Gunnar Henderson's got some Barry Bonds-esque numbers going on, which is incredible. Aaron Judge is also hunting down another 60-plus home run season with, I mean, very well could be 150 RBI. I mean, the numbers are ridiculous. I do wonder if, for the first time in what would feel like a long time, a determining factor could actually be record. It is not how voting has necessarily gone when we talk about MVP awards, especially the American League Award, which has been dominated by the Los Angeles Angels. But at the moment, these teams are considered even in the standings advantage Orioles due to a game up in the loss column. Could these two guys have such great years that the difference becomes who wins the division? I think it's just going to be very, very interesting. Right now, you'll notice, though, the gap that has continued to increase between everybody else. I'm going to bring up one more awards thing. We'll get to Joe Madden's going to stop by. We're going to get picks on the board and everything. Don't worry about it. And I think many of you probably know exactly where I'm going. Paul Skenes. Paul Skenes takes the mound, and he enters today minus 250. Minus 250 to win the NL Rookie of the Year. He is 75 to 1 to win NL Cy Young. I understand it is going to sound ridiculous to suggest this kid could win Cy Young. And I know when I bet the 200 to 1, I said I am only betting this to cash out. I do not want to be made a liar. But today feels a very important day. They've only lost 2 starts that Skenes has had. He has no losses in his career. If he goes into Atlanta, puts up another win, strikes out 10 batters, I really think we see 40 or less on Paul Skenes. I know it's a big ask. I think it's on the board. Quick break. We're back to right here. It's Game Time Decisions.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
And 12. I know you're going to get Mafia excited here. Hot and bothered.
You got to put Aaron Rodgers here and the Jets at 11. I would put him higher, but again, he barely played football last season. They've addressed their offensive line. It's not going to be great. The depth at wide receiver is a problem for me. Defense, perhaps the best in the National Football League. If Rodgers plays 14 games, they're probably going to win that division over the Bills.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Happy to have you back with us here on SportsGrid. It is an electric day at the SportsGrid studios. There's a lot of excitement. We got people in the mix. Some people are shopping today at what is known as Walsh Sportsbook. Some of the crew are just sending parlays. I'll tell you what, if they're in, they're supposed to be 4. If they're all in before we are done, I will give you the parlays. So they hear this, pressure's on them. We have 2 out of the 4. I'm excited. There's sizzles out here. It's a delightful Saturday. Also, quick programming note. First time in a while, you're not going to have me tomorrow on your Sundays. You'll be fine. Joe Ranieri is going to knock it out of the park. But if you know me, you know where I'll be. We got to go back to Queens. We got an AEW pay-per-view. Come on now. Had to be done. Appreciate, a little day off there for yours truly. Quickly, just on the baseball board, again, you know me, sport develops. We're going to let a lot of things kind of come to us here. But some of the guys that I noticed are on the slate that have been real targets, Cannon for Chicago. I mean, my, oh my, this guy can't get a single lefty out at all. Total being 8 in Yanks Toronto. I don't know if I was burned because I was an underbacker in one of the earlier games in that set, but I want to look there. Munoz has been terrible. He goes for Miami. I might just play some Paul Skenes alts. I know that might be ridiculous, but I am going to be a little bit tempted to get involved there. Glass now, big number against the Giants. I'm almost tempted just to bet San Fran at. I want to. Can we get to 2-1? Probably not, but I'd love to get that number. And it's not even a fade of Glass now. It's really not. But it's just that type of price there. They don't win every Glass now start. Rangers are interesting as a dog. And then I wanted to bring this up, and I've actually meant to talk more kind of with some people around this game. The Seattle-Minnesota price now for the second day in a row is a little bit surprising to me. So yesterday, we saw Logan Gilbert get the ball at home against Bailey Ober. Now, I'm not going to pretend that the Mariners were dominant in the baseball game, right? They had a 1-0 lead that quickly evaporated with a Carlos Correa home run. An error allowed them to tie that game in the bottom of the 8th, and they were able to walk it off in the 10th. But minus 130 on Logan Gilbert against Bailey Ober in a home Mariners game didn't really meet my eye frame. You then go to today's game between Seattle and Minnesota, and it's Bryce Miller, Pablo Lopez. You can call me an ERA merchant if you'd like. I understand Lopez is the more pedigree pitcher of Bryce Miller. He's not been better than Bryce Miller this year. I don't think anybody would really argue that, right? Minnesota's on the road. If it was a short Seattle number, sure. Mariners home dog. They have the better record. This is one of those series that's catching my attention from how it's being priced. I think the books right now are saying, big picture, Minnesota comfortably greater than sign Seattle. It's not reflected in the World Series market. It's not reflected in the AL pennant market, but it is what we're seeing right now. Let's run through a couple of things here. PGA Tour. So the favorites right now are Akshay Bhatia and Aaron Rai, rightfully so. They're 2 shots up on the field. I know folks are going to go low at the Rocket Mortgage, but these guys are also number 1 and number 2 in strokes gained tee to green. I am actually tempted. Haven't done it yet. I think I have a little bit of time. Let me get the anticipated tee times for those 2 guys today here. 1 p.m. So it would be before we leave. I am thinking of just betting both. I kind of have to do a little bit more on what price does that necessarily get me? Do we have some boost that we can use to enhance that number? I know for golf bettors that's not a big payout. I know I'm going double chalk at the top there. But you have 2 of the better names in this tournament, right? Up 2 on the field, and they're 1 and 2 tee to green at the midway point. I think that's interesting. W card today. If I'm betting, I'm looking to take the 11 with the Wings late night and go under the number in Mystics Aces. And MVP update, Aja Wilson. Now that we're seeing the wins start to pile up for Vegas with Chelsea Gray back in the lineup, minus 550. At no point am I telling you Aja's having anything other than a brilliant season. The number is still just a little bit surprising. Joe Bad is up next. We're live right here on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
And 12. I know you're going to get Mafia excited here. Hot and bothered.
You got to put Aaron Rodgers here and the Jets at 11. I would put him higher, but again, he barely played football last season. They've addressed their offensive line. It's not going to be great. The depth at wide receiver is a problem for me. Defense, perhaps the best in the National Football League. If Rodgers plays 14 games, they're probably going to win that division over the Bills.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're back to right here, and we are live on SportsGrid Saturday morning. We'll need some baseball picks to help us out. It's Joe Madden. Joe, how are you?
I'm doing great, Kevin. Happy Saturday. How are you doing today?
Happy Saturday indeed. I'm doing well. I'm excited. I'm probably overly focused on the soccer today. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but you're going to help us settle in here on this baseball card. Tell me, does this start for you right away in Chicago with this Rockies-White Sox game? This is just one of these series that every time I look at, I go, I feel like I want to be in the mix.
I feel like I want to be in the mix, but I didn't pull the trigger. If I was going anywhere with this one, I would look at the Chicago White Sox at home with Jonathan Cannon getting the start, just because they have the home edge in this game. Otherwise, these are the two of the worst teams in baseball. I look at both of these teams and which team do I really trust? Offensively, neither of these teams is quite capable of getting a lot of runs on the board. You're not getting great value with either of them either. I was really hoping the Chicago White Sox would be like a plus 120 underdog, and then I'd say it's a home dog. Let's take a chance on them, but I just can't get there, Kevin.
Yeah, I think that is understandable. Man, the White Sox and the Rockies, I actually think those teams should play every single day, quite frankly. Card for you then, I think, will begin perhaps with Sonny Gray on the mound here against the Cincinnati Reds. What do you think of this matchup?
Yeah, looking for a strong performance out of Sonny Gray here. You can look at his outs. It is juice, though. Over 17 and a half outs is coming in at minus 156. In his last 3 starts, he has gone into that 7th inning, and I have faith in him here versus the Cincinnati Reds to go nice and deep in this game as well. His strikeout number, again, it is high and it is juice. So I'm just not loving. I'm going to look at the St. Louis Cardinals to come out nice and strong and cover that run line. Laying the 1.5 is coming in at plus 105. I do think this is another opportunity, though. We have 2 strong pitchers here. Carson Spears coming out for the Cincinnati Reds for the Nerfy in this one. That Nerfy coming in at minus 113. But I do think the best way to go is just look for the Cards to get that big win at home, covering that run line, laying 1.5 at plus 105, Kevin.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough here. Sonny Gray, as you said, he's been electric at home here. And this is really a team that has bounced back quite nicely, right, all in all. When we think about St. Louis, and I thought it was a really slow start to their season, I think they've been gaining respect from the books here, and I think it's reflected in today's number. Next up, Joe, it's Aaron Judge. For the first time in a while, consecutive games without a home run. Does that keep up?
No, it doesn't. I think that home run is coming today. You can look at Aaron Judge for the home run coming in at plus a 265. He's going to face a bullpen of the Toronto Blue Jays that I don't trust. And now while Chris Bassett has strong numbers in his appearances versus the the Dodgers, he's 2-0 with an ERA of 1 in those 4 appearances. I do think Chris Bassett is still a pitcher that I don't trust. And the Toronto Blue Jays are as well. This bullpen could allow that home run, but I do think Aaron Judge could get it off of Bassett in this one. When we look at Bassett, the majority of the home runs he gives up are to lefties, though. So I'm also going to look at Soto here. Soto for the anytime home run coming in at plus 350. You've seen him give up 8 home runs, only 1 to a righty and the other 7 to lefty. So I think putting a half a unit or a full unit on Aaron Judge and a full unit on Soto is the way I'm going to go. But if you want to split that up to a half a unit on both, you're getting so much value. And then I do think the Yankees get the win here. I can't believe they're only a minus 126 favorite in this one. Nestor Cortez getting the start here for them. I think they have every opportunity to come out and have a nice big win over the Toronto Blue Jays. Again, Chris Bassett, this bullpen, and the Jays, I just don't trust them, Kevin. I know the last 2 games have been high-scoring games out there, the Jays getting the win in that first one, but the Yankees answered nicely back yesterday, and I think they continue that role.
All right, fantastic there. Some love for the Yanks. I actually myself did have Judge to home run yesterday with a little bit of a boost. He only went 3 for 5 with multiple RBI. Even if he didn't hit the home run, he's still just been completely brilliant. Joe, let's talk Pirates. Paul Skenes. I'm excited for this one here today in Atlanta. What do you like?
This is a great pitching matchup. Paul Skenes versus Max Fried. And you got to look at both of these pitchers to come out strong. Giving Max Fried a little bit of respect. He's 7-3 on the season with an ERA of 3 and that whip at 1.07. But it's Paul Skenes here. So I had to find a bet on the Pirates. Now, I wanted to look at the Pirates in the first 5 innings in case something happens with the bullpen here. But I expect Skenes to go deep into this, probably deep into that 7th inning. So I'm going to look at the Pirates in the first 5 on that money line coming in at plus 106. I do think, though, this is a pitching battle. I think both of these pitchers will have success. I think this is a game that you look at the under 7.5 in as well, that coming in at minus 114. I don't think we're going to see a lot of bats flying out there. With the Atlanta Braves, it is always cautious to take it under because we know the Braves bats can get nice and hot, but Paul Skenes should be able to limit them in this one, Kevin.
Yeah, I think Skenes has been incredible, Joe. I'm curious, have you followed his movement in the awards market at all, whether that be Cy Young, Rookie of the Year? I know it's something that I'm kind of obsessed about a little bit, but have you followed any of this additional Skenes stuff?
I haven't been looking over the last couple of weeks, but I remember the last time I looked, and that movement has been crazy out there, Kevin. I know you keep updating us with it, so what's he at right now? Because it seems like,
I do keep updating everyone with it, Joe. I just did it 10 minutes ago. The people don't need it again. But I do. I'll keep updating them. All right, Joe, a principal play here for you, clearly. And you got to respect it. But you're taking a look here at a Rays Nationals game. What do you like in this one?
Okay, Kevin, it is SportsGrid's team looking at the Washington Nationals here. And this is a prime situation that I like to bet them. I don't love betting them when they're the favorite in a game, but they're coming in as the underdog versus the Tampa Bay Rays. Both of these teams have shown their inconsistencies on the season, so I don't give Tampa a huge edge, especially with Aaron Savali coming out to get the start for the Tampa Bay Rays. I don't trust him, and Jake Irvin is the stronger pitcher. So you look at the Nationals, they're coming in as a dog. They have the stronger pitcher in this matchup. You look at Jake Irvin on the road. He's 4-1 with a 2.44 ERA. I think the Nationals have every opportunity of getting the win here. You're getting them coming in at plus 114. And Aaron Savali, he's been stronger on the road than he has been at home. That home ERA is a 4.40. So I do think the Nats offense can hit off of him in this game and get the win. So he's going to need some run support, but I think the Nationals will give it to him today.
Fair enough. Joe, I promise you this. I always root it in. but it is incredible. I think the last action for you on the card, at least for the time being, if I know Joe Madden, she'll add more throughout the day, will come with this Giants-Dodgers game. What are you on here?
This is going to be a great revenge spot after the Dodgers lost yesterday to the San Francisco Giants. I'm looking for them to come out big, cover that run line, laying the 1.5 at -118. I never love laying the juice on a run line, but I do think this is a prime opportunity. I think you could even alt this one. Tyler Glass now getting the start for the Dodgers, and this is why they're such a big favorite in this one. He's been phenomenally strong on the season. He's 8-5 with a 2.88 ERA, and I think he's going to have his way with the Giants lineup in this one. You can look at his strikeouts. Over 7.5 is coming in at -111. I like that as well. I just think the Giants struggle in this one to hit off of Glass now. And the Dodgers looking for that revenge factor here. Come out nice and big in this one, Kevin.
Yeah, I think that Glass now, just from some of the people that I've also been able to talk to early morning, Joe, he could be in line for a really big day. And I'll tell you this, another person whose opinion I respect on the matter actually just invested in Tyler Glasnow's Cy Young price there. It wouldn't be surprising if by the end of the year, all of these awards just started going to Dodgers. Maybe they'll find a random rookie to put in the mix as well. Joe, we appreciate it. As always, best of luck with the baseball card.
Best of luck, everyone. Thanks, Kevin.
All right, awesome stuff there from Joe. Coming up next, from a Hawk to a Pelican, DeJounte Murray. We'll talk about it next right here on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
And 12. I know you're going to get Mafia excited here. Hot and bothered.
You got to put Aaron Rodgers here and the Jets at 11. I would put him higher, but again, he barely played football last season. They've addressed their offensive line. It's not going to be great. The depth at wide receiver is a problem for me. Defense, perhaps the best in the National Football League. If Rodgers plays 14 games, they're probably going to win that division over the Bills.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back. I'm so happy to have you here. If you like parlays, you somehow ended up coming to the right place. I'm not usually the right person. The producers, they've been coming in, and I'm excited to give the people some juice here. I really am. And everybody's they've really done their job. They really, really have. I want to talk about the DeJounte Murray deal. I think it is a super important trade that happened yesterday between the Pelicans and the Hawks. Atlanta sends DeJounte Murray out. They get back a couple of first-round picks, Larry Nance and Dyson Daniels. I think there are some people who are seemingly super excited about Dyson Daniels. Some have said that's the best thing that New Orleans or Atlanta got back on the trade. Okay. Well, this, to me, the move is somewhat about DeJounte Murray. We're going to get into that. But it's also about everything that surrounds it and the fallout from the deal. And that starts on the Atlanta end of it. The Hawks do not have their own first-round pick next year. And in fact, they don't control their picks for the next 3 seasons. It's unprotected belongs to San Antonio, an unprotected swap with San Antonio, and then it's a straight-up unprotected belongs to the Spurs. So the Hawks selling DeJounte Murray, trading DeJounte Murray, is not step one of a full teardown. I saw the phrase for the first time, flag hunting, yesterday. Cooper Flagg, the projected first overall pick for next year's 2025 NBA draft. Atlanta is not going flag hunting. Now, it doesn't mean the Hawks are going to look to build the most competitive roster in the league, but it means that Atlanta will not reap benefits from being a 20-win basketball team. And it is why the trade with the Pelicans was a little jarring due to the Brandon Ingram trade rumors that have not stopped and we'll discuss more about. Atlanta getting BI back, you would have thought, would have been something that they would have been interested in because they're not in a position to bottom out. So now that DeJounte Murray is gone, paired with the reports we've heard, even if I find them to be preposterous, that Trae Young would net you less, it is on the board that Trae Young will just remain a Hawk. Very, very live. Because now, whomever looks to bring in Trae Young is going to have to send back real talent, I would think, to Atlanta. The 3 destinations that had been discussed as Trae Young's ideal landing spots, I guess via Trae Young, were New Orleans, LOL, the Spurs, and the Lakers. Now, the Spurs and the Lakers are 2 teams that we've heard for quite some time. Well, the Spurs, I feel as if that ship might have already passed by. Having picks 4 and 8 in the draft, the fact that they ended up trading the 8th pick all in all anyway, right? They probably had their moment to make a deal for Trae Young. And now that DeJounte's out the door, now that the return was nothing but near win-now pieces, or Brandon Ingram realistically, I don't think the Spurs sending back Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson or Jeremy Sohan is going to put that team in the position that they want to be in. So that would really then just leave the Lakers, at least from the destinations we've heard Trae is interested in. But the Lakers seemingly really don't want to part ways with Austin Reeves. Now, last night, the Lakers saw D'Angelo Russell opt into his $18 million player option. Russell is a polarizing player. He has very real postseason struggles, but he has made an all-star team. Last year, flirted with averaging near 20 a night. Trae Young is significantly better. I know everyone will be like, oh, but he's bad on defense. It's the same problems as D'Lo. It's a world of difference when you're an incredible offensive player at Trae Young's level. The Lakers, with the opt-in decision from D'Lo, I very much believe will make the move. A move, getting D'Angelo Russell gone. For Atlanta, could D'Lo be a good enough guard with other additional moves that would make that an enticing partnership? And are there suitors beyond the Lakers and the Spurs for Trae Young? Those become the questions then ultimately there around Trae. You then shift this back to New Orleans. With bringing in DeJounte Murray, you have McCollum, Murray, Zion, Ingram, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, and no center, and you realistically are going to need one. So that's 7 guys for what's really 5 spots. Who must start? Zion has to start. DeJounte now has to start. And you would again imagine the center has to start. Okay, so now what do we have? McCollum, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, B.I. With all the smoke around Brandon Ingram, and again, still why then yesterday's trade is a little bit head-scratching from this end of it, you imagine B.I. is still sent out. Sacramento and Cleveland have been talked about quite a lot, quite a bit. I would say Cleveland would be the favorite because New Orleans is going to look for a plug-and-play starter. Jared Allen's name has been tossed around. And I think it is very reasonable to believe that Allen, Ingram, fill out the back end of it all, could get done. So that, to me, is kind of the biggest fallouts of this all, is Trae Young being Atlanta or Lakers, feels very much live now, and kind of how that's just how that reads. And Brandon Ingram is definitely out of New Orleans. I would make the Cavs the current favorite at the moment. We are coming off of the NBA draft. I want to get into that with the people, some wagers made, where value could lie here on SportsGrid.
'Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
And 12. I know you're going to get Mafia excited here. Hot and bothered.
You got to put Aaron Rodgers here and the Jets at 11. I would put him higher, but again, he barely played football last season. They've addressed their offensive line. It's not going to be great. The depth at wide receiver is a problem for me. Defense, perhaps the best in the National Football League. If Rodgers plays 14 games, they're probably going to win that division over the Bills.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Back right here, Game Time Decisions. Before we get to the Rookie of the Year, let me just quickly update everybody on Euro 2024 because at noon, we have our kickoff of the round of 16. I have a pick in the game. Firstly, we'll start with that. Italy, Switzerland. Both teams to score no -140. It's our quick pick for today. It's how we start the slate off here. That is how I'm going to look to open the round of 16. And then also, I placed 2 picks in the futures market for the outright winner here at Euro 2024. France plus 600, Romania 190 to 1. France is, of course, the primary bet there. I think their draw is more favorable than the books are pricing it. Or, if anything, I am willing to bet on a better number, even if the draw is difficult. Maybe that's a better way to put it. It's not to look past Belgium, Portugal, Germany, Spain, whatever it might be, all on their side of the bracket. It's that France is viewed as still arguably the best team in the world. So I think that getting a number around plus 600 for a team that was closer to 3 to 1 when the tournament opened, right? I think is a really, really worthwhile play. The Romania pick is a super long shot with a very weak bottom left quadrant of the bracket where I'm going to try to take advantage, win 2 games, heck, maybe win 1. We'll see. But win 2 games, and now we're in a semifinal position potentially with Romania. NBA draft this week. Again, I want to thank everybody who tuned in. We had a lot of fun from Wednesday and Thursday covering the draft, the first ever 2-day NBA draft. Appreciate everybody who helped us get that job done. And after night 1, we did get Rookie of the Year odds. And we have seen movement already in the Rookie of the Year market. Sarr's your favorite, the second pick by Washington. Riza Shea plus 750, same number as Steph Castle. 9-1 Reed Shepherd. And then you enter this 10-1 range here. Dalton Connect, his slide to the Lakers at 17. The books still think that he's better certainly than that. Same number as Zach Edey. We'll expand on that in a moment. Matas Buzelis, a little bit of a faller. Projected 5th pick to Detroit. Goes 11th with Chicago. Ron Holland did go 5th there for the Pistons. Rob Dillingham, the Minnesota trade. And then Donovan Clingan checks in around 20-1. Let's start with Zach Edey. Zach Edey was 20-1. So it is very clear that people started to click and bet and make their wagers because of that fall or because of the landing spot. And I am one of them. I made 2 picks. We'll talk about them, but I made a Zach Edey 20-1 wager. And look, betting Rookie of the Year this far out, small wagers, there were 2 value spots, and Edey was one of them. And at minimum, this has been proven correct. Because here is kind of the big thing. Let's just grab our top 10. How many guys do we feel have a chance to start? Sarr, I absolutely expect to start. Riza Shea's more up in the air. Jalen Johnson, DeAndre Hunter are there. Riza Shea's not a 2, not really a 4. I think he's going to need movement to get into that starting lineup. Steph Castle has a real chance, but the Spurs' connections to guys like Trae Young or Darius Garland could interrupt that. He could start next to them. We don't know. Reed would be stunning if he started. Connect has some chance, but not a great chance. I think he has some, but not a great. Edey, I think, will start as their 5 next to Jaren Jackson. He's not going to play 30 minutes a game, but I think he starts. Matas, going to need a lot of trades. Detroit, they have such little shooting, they might not be able to make it work. Rob Dillingham, no way. Later in the year, maybe, but he's not starting over Conley. And then Donovan Clingan, I don't think right away. I do not think he starts right away due to DeAndre Ayton still being there. So realistically, my most confident starters are Sarr, the favorite, and Edey. That's why he had that big move. Let's just look at some of the longer options that are on the board right now. Salon started at plus 750, outrageous number, huge faller in this market. Cody Williams, Devin Carter, Isaiah Collier has fallen a little bit. I bet him at a worse number. I bet him at 75-1. Here's the reason why. I talk about guys that need moves. Collier fits the description. The difference is he's 75-1 with all the talent in the world. We're hitting a break. We've got Matt Peral joining us next here on SportsGrid.